Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host. Happy weekend, friends. We are excited to be with you. The show is powered by LPT Realty. We want to thank Robert Palmer and our executive team for making this possible. It's so amazing that all these agents get to be featured on radio and TV and billboard. And of course, that we get to bring you every week the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. As always, I say this every show, so I don't know if that makes me ingenuine or distruthful, but every show I have special people on here. I love bringing them in. We love being a catalyst and connector in the Tampa Bay community. And so I have some really awesome people here in the studio. And today we're going to be talking about vision. So I have this really cool quote that I wanted to kick the show off with today because I think it's very fitting for the segments that we're going to go to. But a vision is not just a picture of what could be. It is an appeal to our better selves, a call to become something more. So we're going to talk about vision. We're seeing the big picture. What's going on? What is your vision for life? I see all these vision boards and all these things that happen in January. And I have a special guy here today that I'm going to introduce first that we kicked off in a podcast. And my guy, Dave, got a little emotional. We had some stuff going on. I see him get emotional right now. I prepared the show for you, Dave.
I hear you.
Dave Knight in the studio today. He came all the way from Orlando. He has 11 years in the real estate industry. He actually is the owner and founder of Rent Smart USA, a property management company. They manage about 150 units. So what's going on, my guy?
Girlfriend, it is such a pleasure and honor to be in this room on the airways with a rock star like yourself.
We had a good time on the podcast the other day.
Dude, it was awesome. It
I
really
changed
was.
your whole life.
You did. Yeah, I mean, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and I tell you, the Holy Spirit just came through me, and I was looking at my vision board while we were having our conversation, and I just had a moment where I said to myself, what is my purpose? What am I doing? And I looked at my vision board, and I saw I. Well, there's no I in team, and it isn't all about me. And I believe we're put here for a purpose, and it isn't about ourselves. It's about how we affect people's lives for the good. And while we were speaking, I then looked at, Zig Ziglar, and one of his most famous quotes is, "Why? You can get anything in life you want as long as you help many people get what they want."
And I think I said, Dave, is any of that really important? And what did you say?
No.
It's not.
No.
And then I think you said, my wife doesn't even want this. Like,
No.
I don't know what I'm doing. So then we removed things off the vision board.
Yes, and
That's
we
awesome.
did. And I looked at, and we did it right there and there. I said, I gotta tell you something. And I went to my vision board and I said, I'm done with this. And she said, done with what? I said, David A. Knight, luxury king of Orlando. Luxury king of Orlando, David Knight. That's all status.
No, actually, I think you said it's all ego, which
oh,
we're going to dive deep
it
into.
is
Don't give
big
them all
ti-
the secrets
it
yet. Don't
is
give them all
big-
the secrets.
It is big time ego. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's crazy because when we talk about vision, I have two other special people here as well that are going to definitely be able to tap in that. And as everyone knows, I just recently merged my team with Miss Jennifer Spinelli, who is definitely the visionary, the inspiration behind 90% of what we do. She also just is about to tear down her next development project in Reddington Beach, which I'm super ecstatic for her. And when people have vision and they have creative spirits, they are not just everywhere. They're really a dime a dozen. So what's going on, Miss Jennifer?
Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to be here.
I just love the factor that we're tearing down the next project.
Oh my gosh, right now as we speak, they're out there tearing that house down.
And I know that vision is something you really pride yourself on. And so what do you see your vision being, I don't know, for
Well, I mean, to
2023?
start with, I never imagined being here where I am today. Like, I've always been a caregiver. I was the housewife. I was the take care of my sister when I was younger. I always take care of other people. So coming into the whole mentor and coaching part of my life, that's recent over the last couple of years because I'm trying to find my purpose and my worth. And I know that I'm to be on this earth to help people find their way in the real estate market. And that's what I'm here doing.
I love that. And I think that we've hit over 40 people on the team now.
Yes.
And
we
I
are.
love that the world can't, see this, but Dave and Jennifer gave each other a fist bump. And for everyone out there that doesn't know what LPT is or how we operate, Jennifer, Dave, and I are actually all three in different downlines. We came from different spaces and now being able to collaborate together, which is just amazing. And as everyone knows, my infamous guest is back in the house today. I'm super fortunate to just get to know him. I'm going to try to not get emotional on today's show, so I'm just not going to look at him while I interview him today. But this guy has honestly just touched so many people, and I'm so glad that I get to spend time with him and really just get plugged in a leadership space, and that he's kind of trusted me to do that. But he is definitely one of my mentors, and I look up to him very much. I have Tommy Colonin, Urban D, said it right. He is actually the pastor at Crossover Church, and he's going to talk about some things that he's doing in Tampa today. But first, what's going on, Tommy?
What's up, Betsy? It's great to be back with you. It's my second time, but I love being on the radio with you. You always just you just rule this space. You're just smooth. You just go from one person to the next, and she just flows. So it's great to be here and talk about vision.
Yeah, and so I love to throw this out just sometimes, and not even give anyone any prep. When you hear vision, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, vision is what could be and what should be. And regularly as a lead pastor, I got to cast vision to people for their life, for their family, and for us as a community together. What are we called to do? Because it's always bigger than ourselves, right? And so when you get people together and they can pull together their talent, their time, their energy, their resources, we can do amazing things and we can change the world.
And I think that we're going to talk about some things that is actually going to happen with Crossover in Tampa later in the show, because in segment 2, we're going to dive deep into community involvement and kind of investing in others. But with that being said, right now, Tommy, life is kind of hard for people. Business is hard. We've gone through these ups and downs. What else can you say to them? Because to me, when you talk about vision, you also kind of go into faith, kind of not being able to see the end at the beginning. And so what can you tell the listeners just about what their vision could be now, even if it's maybe clouded?
Yeah, and I think the last couple of years has been challenging for all of us. And there's been moments, if we're honest, that all of our vision has got clouded, like you said, and you don't want to get stuck there. That's just human nature. When things are bad, when the news is scary, when stuff we see online and social media and even in real life is oh my goodness, with the pandemic and everything, and now we're in a recession and the banks are collapsing, and it can sound scary, but you can't let that paralyze you, because even in the middle of a bad economy, even in the middle of a pandemic or whatever is happening in the world and the news, you can still have vision, and you can be literally on another track from what everything else that's happening. And that's when your purpose can show up and God can show up and miracles can happen and amazing stuff can happen that shouldn't be happening if you're tapped into the right source.
And I think something that I heard today, Dave, I'll turn to you really quick before we go to break, is just that sometimes when things happen in your life and they take a change, we had a podcast the other day.
Correct.
And we never thought that it was going to turn into, hey, Dave, let's really evaluate your vision board and kind of take a look at that. So just since I've did the podcast over the last week, how has your vision changed and how are you going to initiate that moving forward?
Well, it takes reflection, and the first thing I did on Sunday was show that taped podcast of us to my wife, Marcia, and she's my partner, she's my rock, and she evaluates me all the time. She's my she's my number one critic, she's my number one cheerleader, she's my lover, And so that was the first one we did. And she was like, I told you, I told you, I told you.
I love that.
Women, I tell you, I'll be like, and why does it always take for a coach or for something like this for you to actually realize that I've been telling you this, and that over the years? And I go, I know, baby, but what can I say? It's the rebel in me,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was cool.
And if somebody does want to contact you about anything in regards to life, business, or real estate, how could they get hold of you?
Oh, I'd love for people to reach out to me in regards to real estate or what have you. I can be reached at 407-453-1331.
And Miss Jennifer Spinelli, if someone wants to join a real estate team, get your buyer or seller books that you have, anything of that nature, how can they reach out to you?
Yes, definitely. My phone number is 727-459-9650.
And Mr. Pastor Tommy, if someone wants to get in touch with someone at Crossover Church, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can simply go to crossoverchurch.org, or you can go to any of our social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. It's Crossover 813.
I love this. You are not going to want to miss segments 2, 3, and 4. When we come back, we're going to talk about community involvement, investing in others, and improve upon social well-being. We'll be right back after the break.
The best comp plans ever in stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home, and we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I'm still here in the house. Betsy Tinervin, LPT Realty, and the Sunshine State Investments team. So happy to have with me today Dave Knight. He is an LPT agent out of Orlando. Jennifer Spinelli is a local real estate developer and my co-team lead with the Sunshine State Investments team. And Tommy Urban D, pastor at Crossover Church. And today, friends, we are talking about vision and what that looks like for you. How does that look in your own life? How does that look in others' lives? And also when you can't see the vision. Right now we have all these things in the world going on. And as you know, we try to bring you smiles and sunshine on the weekend through this show, just kind of investing in you and also bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. So we are going to make vision applicable in all of those areas. And in segment 2, we're going to talk about community involvement, why it's important, why you should invest in other people, why you should invest in your community. And honestly, I hear people say all the time, I have to make money, I have to do all these things. But when you volunteer and you serve without expectation, so many great things happen. And so I want everyone to take a step back as they're listening to the show today. And whether you have $5 in your bank account or 50 million, do something and find some way to plug in. We're going to give you a couple options on the show in your community in a way that has no monetary value. It is just serving without expectation. And I promise you great things will happen in your life. So I'm going to turn to my guy, Pastor Tommy, so he can talk about this amazing thing that Crossover does in the city of Tampa, as they really are catalysts and connectors in our community. It's all you, Tommy.
Yeah, so we do this big serve week every year called Love Our City, and anybody can come and be involved. It's absolutely free. And guess what? You get a free T-shirt as well.
I love that.
Everyone loves a free T-shirt. It's got the Love Our City logo on the front, got some of our sponsors on the back, and we're going to have close to 100 community service projects that we're going to do between March 29th, that's a Wednesday, and Saturday, April 1st. And so some projects are in the morning, some are during the lunchtime, majority of them in the evening. On that Saturday, they're like all throughout the day. And so most of them are family friendly. You can bring your kids, you can bring your team. I know you guys are bringing a team, and we just go and show love. So what do? We do a bunch of pay it forward projects. We're buying people's coffee. We're paying for people's gas. We're going to do over 2,000 homes. We're going to bring them a bag of groceries as a surprise. We're at laundromats paying for everybody's laundry. We're doing about 1,000 appreciation lunches for teachers, firefighters, police officers, clinic workers, and just doing a lot of sweat equity projects too. We're going to clean some parks. We're going to clean some houses, some yards, all kinds of stuff. So all the details on how to sign up, anybody can do it. It's loveourcity.info. Yeah, so come serve with us. It's going to be incredible.
And so I really want to know, Tommy, before I turn to Jennifer, just why was it important to you? You know, your whole story is basically creating this urban church culture, but in the urban community. A lot of people have a mega church and they have an urban vibe and there's eclectic and they're creative, but you wanted to do it in the urban community. Like, why was that important to you and how did that stem into Love Our City?
Yeah, so we took over a former retail box on Fowler Avenue. It used to be the old Toys R Us store in 2010, in the middle of the recession, when there was a lot of vacant storefronts on Fowler. The air was blighted. It was a rough area. People thought we were crazy to go there and invest a couple $1 million in building out an old retail box. They're like, you should, that's a bad area. We're like, that's exactly where we know God's called us to go to help rebuild that community, physically, spiritually, financially, all those things, right? And so fast forward a couple years, it actually became an innovation district. And now it's called the Uptown Innovation District. I'm actually on the advisory board for it. And there's all this new development happening, new jobs coming in. And we're really trying to help people in the community also be part of that, so gentrification doesn't push them out, but local people also have an opportunity and a chance to level up. And so loving our community, serving people, meeting needs, that's what we've always been about ever since we moved in. It's been 12 years now.
I absolutely love Crossover. I know that I'm so biased, but if you are looking for a church home, you have to come check us out. There's also other ways to serve, and that's when I'm going to turn to Jennifer Spinelli, because since Crossover is in an innovation district, there's going to be an innovation summit. Jennifer and myself are actually going to serve on the real estate track and speak at Crossover just about investing in real estate. And anyone from who is looking to buy their first home or learn more about real estate, we're going to be there. And so, Jennifer, I kind of want to turn to you with just why it's important that we educate people on financial literacy and investing in real estate.
Yeah, well, I'll start with the investor first. I mean, I met actually Pastor Tommy for the first time here on the radio show when he was last on, but we have become very involved in the church, and I want to thank you. But our first investor was over in Tampa at Crossover Church. Mm-hmm. We had such a great turnout, and the feedback that we got from that was everyday people. They heard the hype of real estate, how to get into it, but they don't really know how to do it. You can go to all these REI conferences and meetups, and they're not really giving you the goods, you know? So we brought in our particular vendors that we work with, that we are with almost every day, talk to them, and just having that personable approach and telling the real life struggles and how we got to where we are. The feedback was amazing. So, by the way, we are going to be coming back to Tampa, just so you guys know, at Crossover Church. But we also want you guys to check us out because we're coming to Orlando on April 22nd at the Alive Church. Yes. So, Dave, you'll have to see us over there.
Where's that again in Orlando? Where?
At the Alive Church.
Okay.
It's awesome. Tommy's an extension. Tommy's buddies are over there. So we're doing all of our events at all urban churches. And basically, Jennifer and Mauricio are two board members for the tour. They are going to be speaking on leadership and running a team and doing a little 15-minute track and PowerPoint for any business owner that wants to run a team, wants to be a leader, maybe needs some mentoring things. They're going to give some cool like tracking sheets. So we're excited to have them. We have two guest speakers that are going to be there in Orlando with us. One is Chris Doring, former NFL player. He's going to tell his story of what happened after the NFL. And then also Will Adams, my guy, he is going to tell his story for the first time that I'm not going to publicly release yet, but he is going from being the DJ to being a speaker, and I'm super excited about that. Beast. And Tommy, you know that you created all of that.
I helped a little part of it. Yes. Love that guy. Will's awesome.
We will dive deep into that a little bit more in segment 3, but Dave, it was crazy because you had a booth next to our booth at the last Grand Prix in St. Pete for LPT. And I know that you do this property management company and you also are now like doing this podcast, and your podcast is about rock star agents, and you're featuring all these different agents and kind of lifting them up and being positive. Why is that important to you?
Well, I believe that the people that you surround yourself with are the people ultimately that becomes you. You are the sum of the people that you associate yourself with. So that's purpose number one. And purpose number two is to, spread the word, spread influence, spread knowledge, spread power to other agents who would like to be in the upper echelon of, say, a rock star agent. And, it doesn't all come down to the highest gross commissions earned, or I sold 100,000 homes last year. It's how many people did I influence below me that were able to produce not only for their clients, but ultimately for their families.
Well, and I also think that it's cool. I talked to about you today on the call with Matt Hodge and a couple other people. LPT Realty, I did.
Wow,
I said that I think it's important if anyone out there is listening and wants to just start something, it's not about the listeners, it's not about the views, it's about doing it and just really perfecting your craft. Someone that I always followed was Will Smith. He says, if you and I get on a treadmill, like you're going to die before I get off. And he also talks about perfecting your craft. And so if anyone out there is thinking about starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel or really just touching other people in any way, shape, or form, all I can tell you is like the Nike sign, just do it. Because if you go do it and you keep perfecting it, you're going to get better. And the other thing I think that we need to talk about vision wise is what is the big picture? It's like Jennifer laughs at me all the time. I just got an Instagram and I see these people with, I just got an Instagram. Yeah, but listen here. Now, when people have 19,000 views, I say to them, how much business came out of that? Like what happened with the 19,000 views? So for me, it's like if I have one person that listens to the show and I touch them, if I had one person come to the Invest Tour and I touch them. So I want to leave you before we go to segment 3. In segment 3, we are going to talk about what you can do in life, business, and real estate to keep your head above water. Right now, we're going to see that vision. We're going to manifest that vision together. We're going to talk about that. But I do want everyone to know it just takes one. It's one view, one touch, not 19,000. If somebody wants to get touched by you, Dave, in a positive way,
Yes.
What's your digits?
407-453-1331.
And everyone needs some Jennifer Spinelli. She's amazing. She's great. She's caring. She's loving. If someone wants to reach out to you, Jen, how do they do that?
It's 727-459-9650.
And everyone should get plugged in at Crossover. Come check us out. There's so many ways to get plugged in. How do they do that, Tommy?
So that is crossoverchurch.org.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will see you after the break.
Biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career or what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin. The show is powered by LPT Realty. Mr. Robert Palmer makes all of this possible. We are so excited to be with you in the studio today. And of course, we are speaking about the raw and the real of life, business, and of course, real estate. Today, our word of the day is vision. Seeing the bigger picture, maybe walking in a little bit of faith, not knowing the end at the beginning, but kind of being in that path and just really sticking the track. Like, what do you do when things get off track? Like, what do you do when you don't feel right? So in segment 3, we're really going to talk about what you can do in life, business, and real estate to keep your head above water. Because I think it's critical for people to understand that even though the world may not be evolving and revolving the way that we want it to, we still can find ways to plug in and have a positive outlook. So Dave, everyone's saying right now, don't buy real estate. Interest rates are high. Everything's crazy. Give them some word of advice of what is appropriate right now today in the real estate field.
What is appropriate? The deal must be appropriate. It must be the right deal. The numbers must work. And today I'm finding many people that are making just impulse decisions and just buying a property where the numbers don't work. So do the numbers, consult a professional that actually does buy real estate and actually invests in real estate, such as myself, and get the truth before you sign the dotted line.
I think it's important that, everyone understands in business that you should have a team of experts. So, for me as an agent, I have other people that mentor me, that keep me on track in my personal life, my spiritual life, my business life. And then in my business life, I have all these different experts. So I couldn't agree with you more. For anyone out there looking to purchase real estate, just like Dave said, sellers actually pay commission and you are represented for free as a buyer. So you get free consultation. It's pretty fabulous. So I couldn't agree more that the numbers have to work if you're an investor. What about on the residential side, Dave? If you are looking to buy residential real estate today and you are freaking out and you are scared, banks are shutting down, interest rates are high, why should they buy?
You should buy because you need to provide four walls and a roof for your family. And if the neighborhood is the right neighborhood, the school system is the right school system, and your family is comfortable in that community, regardless of what the interest rates are, regardless of what's happening in the world, the most proven, most effective investment there is real estate. So eventually, rates will go down. You can refinance. Eventually, yes, the value of your property will go up. So get in the game, people.
Jennifer Spinelli.
Yes.
How you doing, sister?
Good.
So right now in life, business, and real estate, we have so many things going on. It's about trusting the process. Can you tell anyone out there why you are taking another plunge and opening up another business in today's world?
I mean, it's a no-brainer when it comes to marketing. Everyone needs to have marketing, and we are opening a marketing center that's due to open next month. I feel like this year for realtors, your marketing needs to be top-notch because this is what's going to build your business for next year in 2024. Yes, the market's a little slow, but truthfully, it's the busy for me because as investors, we're coming in and we're getting, doing the whole analysis situation, and we can get in and buy these houses right now. But like playing off of what Dave said earlier, we tell everyone to marry the house and date the rate. I mean, the rates are not going to stay this high forever. We have creative financing that you can do the 3-2-1 buy downs where we can buy down your rate, and this is taken care of by the seller. That will get you that 3.25% interest while you guys are, in the high interest rates. And then in 3 years, you refinance. So we have a lot of creative financing offers out there that we can work with you. But right now is definitely an investment space. But going back to the market center, I mean, we have everything for you to market yourself, get your name out there, show what you specialize in, what your niche is, and it's a great time. Why not? You're not going to make money if you don't,
I couldn't agree more. I think it's interesting just to hear you have so much faith in what you're doing and just kind of believing in it. I agree. I think marketing is critical. I think right now, and I'll turn to you, Tommy, and is just people don't really feel like they can not only just get to tomorrow, because I think that it is devastating. I think every business owner that I've spoken to is like, hey, I'm losing right now. I know I'm going to see the end of the beginning, but everyone's having those moments where not only do they not feel like marketing themselves, they feel like not even stepping foot into their establishment. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what are you saying to people for them to like put their best foot forward, keep moving on, keep believing, trusting the process, seeing the end of the beginning? What are you telling people?
Yeah, life and business and everything, it always has its ups and downs. And even in those down times, that's when I think it's really important that you tap in with some people that are going to be there for you and kind of help you be positive, even in the middle of all the negativity. Because even during the past couple of years, a lot of people didn't do well during the pandemic, but there was a smaller group of people that actually thrived and reinvented themselves and did all kinds of different things, came up with solutions to the problems. There's problems right now. We can figure out some solutions for people, whatever space that you're in, you can win. Just because the economy might be a certain way, you can still thrive mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even financially if you can learn to solve some problems and reinvent yourself in some new ways. So every time that in my personal life that it's been a rough season, it's always ended up looking back at it like it's been a season that we thrived, that even our church thrived. We're thriving right now, even in the middle of just a tough world that people are in.
I think it also has to do with the people that you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, it was crazy what happened with the tour. And what happened with the tour was I thought that I was investing in all these other people and providing them this big resource. But at the end of the day, I invested in myself. I surrounded myself. Now we have this board, you know, Mauricio, Jen, and Hillary. They're going to all be speaking on leadership. Hillary's doing a bunch of marketing and videography. We've got so many people plugged in at the church. I believe, how many people ended up attending church after that event?
Oh, I mean, it was dozens of people, you know, got tapped in. They came, they're like, this place is really cool. I think I'm going to come check this place out. And several people have. There's a lot of really cool stories.
I think it's awesome. And I think there were some people that came to this real estate event thinking, you know, I'm going to learn about real estate. And they left just feeling inspired and motivated. And I think, Jen, that's the goal in Orlando, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know how many people came up to me and were just like, this is not what I expected. I thought I was going to another REI conference and learning how I can invest in real estate. And then it just turned into they could relate on a different level, because there was a lot of minorities in there, a lot of college students in there that are just getting into it. And if you are not educated, you can definitely lose a ton of money. And we're here to guide you. Why not? You know, I mean, Betsy tells me all the time, I'm so humble. I have so much knowledge inside me, but I just need to speak it. And I feel like the Invest Tour was a great thing that she created.
And Dave, we're so excited to have you because Rent Smart USA is a property management company, and I can attest to this. You know, my family's company has 4,000 units in Illinois, and I know that property management is difficult and it's hard, and you currently manage 150 units. We are excited to have you as one of our vendors at the Invest Tour in Orlando on April 22nd. If you want to get any information on property management, you definitely need to speak to Mr. Dave Knight. Dave, why property management?
That's a good question. I ask myself that every single day. Pause. Why? Well, all depends. Well, for myself or for the viewing public?
Either or.
Okay. So I started a management company because I didn't want to be the manager of my properties. I have to spend my time wisely. And in order for me to scale, I brought in a team who ultimately could do the jobs much better than I. Now, for a client, why should they have a property management firm? Easy, because most investors or high-profile people are just working people who spend 60, 70, 80 hours working, and they don't want to have to deal with the tenants, the toilets, the tax, trash, the termites, and all the fun stuff that goes along with managing a property. So it comes down to using your time the most effective way, and that's allowing a professional to do that for you.
I also believe that if you do not have a good property management company, you can take an asset very quickly and turn that into a liability. So, Dave, if someone wants to get in contact with you, could you please give everyone your phone number?
I can also give a website, too. RentSmartUSA.com. My personal cell phone number is 407-453-1331.
And Miss Jennifer Spinelli, if someone wants to touch base with you on buying, selling, or investing, or joining a real estate team, how would they get in contact with you?
Yes, my phone number is 727-459-9650.
And Pastor Tommy, if someone wants to volunteer at Love Our City, attend the Innovation Summit, or plug in at Crossover Church, how do they get in contact with you?
Okay, so Love Our City, you want to go to loveourcity.info. All the projects are on there. You can sign up for whichever you want. Pick your passion, pick your schedule. Crossoverchurch.org, information on the church. And then the Innovation Summit website is under construction. It's going to be up in the next week or so.
Don't give them all the secrets. We'll tell them after the break.
And we'll tell you after the break.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will go deep into the Innovation Summit after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin. Today, if you have been with us the entire time, that is awesome. However, if you are just tuning in and you missed any of the first three segments, you can go to our Facebook page, LPT All-Star Radio Show, where we have YouTube links, full links of every single one of our shows. And today was all about vision. So if you missed 1, 2, and 3, you have to rewind, but stay with us. You can listen listen to segment 4, but rewind and definitely tap into what we've been talking about with vision. And of course, we're going to wrap up the show with seeing the end at the beginning. So when you're planning something, don't have that one track mind where you have your blinders on, but really open up your eyesight and your mind and your spirit to see the entire big picture. So that's what we're going to finalize the show with today. And we're going to reference that and make that applicable to life, business, and real estate. Jennifer, I'm going to show, I can't show the listeners. I guess I'm going to tell the listeners what is actually happening right now. There's a bulldozer on your new site bulldozing down this house, because really when you do any type of development, you have to see the end at the beginning. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So this is probably one of the biggest projects that I've done, but I have a vision. So everything comes down to the numbers at the end of the day. I purchased a $1.1 million house on a lot on the water. I'm about to put in about $1.2 million into the build for about a 3,400 square foot modern build. At the end of the day, it's going to hit the market at 3.995. So that's about a $1.6 million profit.
And when you and I talk about this all the time, and we take a look at different things, I think something for everyone out there to hear, if you're in the development space or the real estate space or anything you do in relationship-based sales, you do need to consider the consumer. So it's not what Jennifer Spinelli wants in the house. It's not what's convenient to her. It's what is convenient to the consumer, and how can you appeal to them. So talk to the listeners a little bit about that. No matter what type of sales they're in, talk to them about relationship-based sales and how they need to really have an out-of-body experience and become the consumer in whatever they're selling or however their business operates.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone is on different levels when it comes to their spending. I look at the end number, the bottom line. I do it a little bit different. I build as if I'm moving into it. I do find that a lot of people appeal to my designs. I will include like my social media presence and the design questions like, do you like this? Do you like that? And just that little bit of feedback also helps me in my design, because the trends are always changing. Like I'm kind of going mid-century modern on this particular one. I have my renderings up on my site right now, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. So I just do what is going to make me the most money at the end of the day. So I look at the market, I look at the neighborhood, I look at that particular street, because the neighborhood over, they're a little bit more pricey. So I don't want to over improve. I don't want to be the largest lot on the largest house on the lot. I am building right around 3,400 square feet. The largest is 5,000 on the block. Everyone's coastal, like completely traditional. I'm going completely modern. I want this to stick out. And the one at the end of the street just sold for 3.9, and it's 4 years old. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I know my numbers are right. I mean, the market's going to change. It's, definitely appealing. Going back to it, I have very little holding costs. I'm in and out in 10 months when I build my houses. So in 10 months, we'll see what the market holds, but I don't see there's any room for error here. So,
and I think that what's really interesting, like going back to the factor, Tommy, that you're in this innovation district at Crossover and you rebuilt this Toys R Us building. Even right now, you're doing a coffee shop. You've waited 2 years to get the permits. When you were rebuilding this building, or even now having the vision for this coffee shop, being patient and waiting, how did you see the end at the beginning?
Yeah, as a visionary, sometimes it can get frustrating, right? Because we want to see it happen fast. 10 months is pretty great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took us a couple years to sell our other building and get all the negotiations with Toys R Us. And then once we got the keys, then we were off to the races of now we got to do engineering, and we got to do architecture, and then we got to get the permits, and then we got to do the build out, and then we got to do all this. And so I did learn a lot about real estate and kind of having that whole motion in place. But I think with any vision, like you're saying, you want to see the end. So we had a whole brochure of everything that we were going to be doing once we moved in the building. We had the blueprints already done. Let me tell you this quick story. I'm going to be fast.
Nothing these guys do
We
is
made
fast.
the blueprints when I was on a missions trip in Africa. I was in Nigeria teaching pastors. Another guy on the trip happened to be an architect who brought his tracing paper and markers with him. And I had, from the real estate piece, I had like the blueprint. We had pictures. and we drew up the church in Abuja, Nigeria, the blueprint of it.
That's
and
so awesome.
it's like so many crazy things. So you always want to have the vision of where you're going. And even me as an author, like I'm working on another book, my 7th book right now. And you always want to have it mapped out. Like, what's your chapter titles? What do you want the person to walk away with? Then you start filling it in and building it.
So, Dave Knight,
Betsy.
we just talked about completely kind of redoing your vision. I think that you should absolutely have a plan. Couldn't agree with Jennifer and Tommy more. I also think that people have to be willing to adapt to change. So when that plan can't be fully executed and things have to change, you had this vision board. We had boats. We had Luxury Dave. We had flashy cars.
Did.
And then this crazy lady, Betsy, came on your podcast.
She did.
And I was like, does any of that like really mean anything? I mean, is that at the end of the day,
Wow.
is that really what you want to do? And you stopped dead on the track because it was on camera too, and just looked at me and was like, actually, it doesn't. And then you reached up on the video and pulled it off the wall and took it down. So now we are adapting to change, and you're going to have a new vision, a new plan. What is the new things going on the vision board?
Well, it starts right here with hanging out with people like you and Pastor Tommy and Lisa. That's
And
where it
Lisa?
starts. Yes.
Jennifer,
Where did I put?
oh, now, listeners, he's going to refer to his
My
notes.
bad. I looked at the wrong note. Forgive me. Okay. It starts with the people you associate with. Okay. And you can vibe in with others that have big things going on in their lives, and it's contagious. Okay. And as long as you have an open mind and you have faith in yourself and you surround yourself with good people that will support you, you can put a plan together, because whatever the human mind believes, the human mind can achieve. Correct? Yes. So my vision is to bring others into this business, train them, mold them, encourage them, give the right tools, and allow them to be rock stars, allow them to reach for the stars, as they would say back in the day, Ed McMahon, and make the best of what God gave, what God gave them. That's the vision that I see myself being, a captain of a big ship.
I love that. And I think that the LPT culture really allows us to do that. You know, we really are the catalysts and connectors in the Tampa Bay area. We love bringing people from the local community onto the show that can share their vision as to what they're doing in the community and plug in with all of our agents. So that has just been amazing. Tommy, you got final thoughts for the listeners today? Did
Yes.
you like my choice of vision?
No, I thought it was great. It was great. So I just wanted to just say the Innovation Summit is
love
coming up on May the 20th, and we're going to have a real estate track by these lovely ladies right here, by Lisa, Jen, and Betsy, and Hillary is here doing the social media. And so you definitely want to tap into it. Innovationsummit.info is going to be the website. It's under construction now, but we're going to have a track on crypto, a track on tech, real estate, marketing and branding, soul care, and mental health. Like, we're going to have a lot of tools for entrepreneurs and people wanting to level up.
And how many people were at the Innovation Summit last year?
So last year we had a couple hundred. This is what I'm excited about this year. We're doing a Shark Tank, and we've partnered with a couple organizations, and we have over 6 figures of venture capital that we're going to invest live in the last general session into 3 businesses. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And we got some cool sharks coming too.
I love that. And if someone wants to plug in at Crossover Church, how do they do that?
crossoverchurch.org, got all the info. Hey, Easter Sunday's coming up. It's the Sunday that everybody goes to church like at least once a year. So come hang out with us. We got 3 services, 8:30, 10 o'clock, and 11:45.
Jennifer Spinelli, if somebody wants your active marketing plan, your buyers, how to buy real estate right now at a low interest rate book, or they want to talk to you about a real estate team, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, my phone number is 727-459-9650. I kind of just want to go into a couple things real quick. Don't forget, at the Innovation Summit in May, we're going to be doing that. That's going to be about how to invest in yourself and real estate. Then we have the Invest Tour coming up on April 22nd at a live church in Orlando. And then obviously our amazing real estate team, Sunshine State, here in Tampa Bay.
And Mr. Dave Knight, what is your cell phone number if someone wants to plug in with you, sir?
407-453-1331.
Dave, I'm so excited that you are here and that you have a new vision. Jen, I love you to death. Pastor T, it's been great as always. And that's a wrap, kids. We will catch you next weekend.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.